They set the single dad up as a joke on a blind date, but the CEO fell in love with him. Instead, Ethan Walker had gotten used to being the butt of jokes. A single dad in his early 30s, he worked 2 jobs: construction by day, dishwashing by night to support his 8-year-old daughter, Lily. His so-called friends from work thought it would be funny to set him up on a blind date. "Don't worry," they snickered. "She's way out of your league." Ethan knew what they were doing, setting him up for embarrassment, but he showed up anyway. Lily had urged him. "Dad, you'll never go out. Maybe she'll like you for you." The restaurant was too fancy for his worn-out jacket, and Ethan almost turned around. But when he saw her sitting at the table, a woman in a sleek black dress, posture straight, eyes sharp, he froze. "She was stunning." "Ethan?" she asked with a warm smile that immediately disarmed him. He nodded awkwardly, pulling out the chair. "That's me. You must be Claire." What Ethan didn't know was that Claire Maxwell was one of the youngest CEOs in the city, running a multi-million-dollar tech company. She had agreed to the blind date out of curiosity, usually too busy for romance. When her friends had described Ethan as a rough-around-these construction guy, she had expected a disaster, but as the evening went on, she was surprised. He listened when she spoke. He laughed at himself. He was humble, grounded, and when he mentioned his daughter, his whole face lit up. "I don't have much," Ethan admitted, staring into his water glass. "But Lily's got everything that matters. That's my job, you know. To make sure she grows up knowing she's loved." Something in Claire's chest tightened. Most men she met only talked about money, status, or what they drove. But Ethan spoke about love, responsibility, and resilience. By the end of the night, Claire realized the joke wasn't on Ethan, it was on anyone who underestimated him. The next day, Ethan's coworkers smirked, waiting for him to admit the date had gone horribly. But then a sleek black car pulled up to the job site. Claire stepped out in her tailored suit, carrying 2 cups of coffee. "Good morning, Ethan," she said with a smile that silenced the entire crew. "Thought you could use this." The men's jaws dropped. The single dad they had mocked was standing beside a woman who commanded boardrooms and empires. Weeks later, Claire met Lily, who instantly adored her, and when Ethan worried about the gap between their worlds, Claire only shook her head. "You've already given me what money can't buy," she whispered. "Your heart, your honesty, that's all I want." What started as a cruel joke turned into the beginning of a love story no one had seen coming, except perhaps Lily, who had believed in her dad all along. Ethan Walker wiped the sweat off his brow with the back of his sleeve. His coworkers at the construction site were huddled together, chuckling like kids in a schoolyard. He could feel their eyes on him. "Hey, Walker," called out Randy, the loudest of the bunch. "Got you a date tonight. Classy joint downtown. Don't worry. We already told her you're, rough around the edges." The men roared with laughter. Ethan tightened his grip on the hammer. He knew what this was, set up to make him look like a fool. Still, when he got home that night, Lily was waiting with a drawing she had made of them together, holding hands. "Daddy, you never go out," she said softly, her big brown eyes full of hope. "Maybe she'll like you," Ethan sighed. He didn't want to disappoint her. The restaurant was elegant, far too elegant for his thrift store jacket. Ethan almost walked out, but then he saw her. She was sitting alone at the table, poised like she owned the room. Dark hair swept into a bun, a diamond bracelet on her wrist. She looked untouchable. "Ethan," she asked, her voice low and calm. "That's me," he managed, pulling out his chair awkwardly. She smiled. "Claire, it's nice to meet you." At first, Ethan fumbled through small talk, but as dinner went on, he relaxed. He talked about Lily, how she loved painting, how she insisted on reading bedtime stories to him, even though her reading was still choppy. Claire found herself leaning in. Most men she met bragged about stocks or vacations. Ethan talked about bedtime rituals. It disarmed her. "You must love her very much," Claire said. Ethan looked down at his hands. She's my whole world. Everything I do is for her. And something inside Claire shifted. Back at the job site the next morning, the guys were waiting. How bad was it, Walker? Did she walk out before dessert? Before Ethan could answer, a sleek black car pulled up. Out stepped Claire in a tailored suit. Carrying 2 cups of coffee. The site went silent. "Good morning, Ethan," she said warmly, handing him a cup. "I thought you might need this after last night." The men stood frozen. Their joke had backfired spectacularly. Ethan could only stare, heat rushing to his face. "Claire, what are you doing here?" "Seeing you," she said simply, as if it were the most natural thing in the world. Over the following weeks, Ethan and Claire saw more of each other. Ethan was nervous. He had nothing to offer her except honesty and love for his daughter. Claire was surrounded by wealth, assistants, and boardrooms. One night, after dinner, Ethan confessed, "Claire, I don't fit in your world. I live paycheck to paycheck. You deserve someone who can stop." She put her hand on his. "You've already given me what no one else has, your honesty, your loyalty. Do you know how rare that is in my world?" For the first time in years, Ethan felt truly seen. The real test came when Claire met Lily. At first, Lily was shy, clinging to Ethan's hand, but Claire crouched down to Lily's level, pulling a small sketchbook from her bag. "I heard you like to draw," Claire said gently. "Maybe you could teach me." Lily's eyes lit up. Soon, the little girl was showing Claire her crayon drawings, giggling as Claire tried and failed to copy them. Ethan watched, heart full. His daughter was smiling, and so was Claire. That night, after Lily went to bed, Claire whispered, "Ethan, I don't care about the jokes, the money, or the differences between us. I want this. I want us." Months later, Ethan and Claire arrived together at a company gala. Whispers followed them, the rugged single dad with the powerful CEO. But when Claire slipped her hand into Ethan's and smiled like he was the only man in the room, Ethan realized something. The joke had never been on him. It was on everyone else who underestimated him. Because sometimes, love finds you in the most unexpected places, and when it does, no amount of mockery can take it away.